Coming up, building the future. 2 CFIs gift 2 young pilots with multi-engine ratings.
Dedicating an airplane to one of the women who helped build it, honoring a real-life Rosie the Riveter.
And flying Costa Rica by gyro. Aopa Live this week begins in just a moment.
In a world of ancient avionics, one Seattle company is breaking all the rules. Now in airplanes everywhere, coming soon to your panel. There's a reason, pilots. Fly Dynon.
Rated A for your airplane.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Tom Haynes and Paul Harrop filling in for Alyssa Cobb.
Well, if you can believe it, it's Thanksgiving week here in the United States, and while we're thankful this year is almost over, one museum in Washington, D.C. is thankful for a high-profile addition to their collection.
Yes, they are. The Udvar-Hazy Center at Washington Dulles Airport, part of the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, and the museum just took delivery of former Blue Angel number 1, an FA-18 Legacy Hornet. The airplane arrived at the museum last week, and it has an impressive service history. It flew during Operation Desert Storm, the first Gulf War, and was stationed in many parts of the world before joining the Blue Angels in 2015. The Blues just retired the Legacy Hornets at the end of this airshow season after performing in them for 34 years. Now the team will perform in the FA-18 Super Hornet. You'll be able to see Blue Angel number 1 on display in the Modern Military Aviation exhibit at the Udvar-Hazy Center. And something Piper owners certainly will not be so thankful for, an airworthiness directive that affects more than 11,000 Piper PA-28 and 32 airframes. Wing spark corrosion in a hard-to-reach area of certain models could cause a fatal failure. The FAA is requiring inspections by borescope, access panel, wing removal, or other approved means within 12 months or 100 flight hours. The AD goes into effect December 28th. The FAA estimates the cost of the inspection at $170, but if the inspection reveals corrosion, you can expect that number to be way higher. The AD follows a supplemental notice of proposed rulemaking in August that expanded the scope of the NPRM published in November 2017.
This Thanksgiving, the Commemorative Air Force Dixie Wing is giving thanks in a big way. The group naming one of their Warbirds after one of the ladies who built it. Betty Bishop is a real-life Rosie the Riveter. She worked at the Bell Aircraft Facility in Niagara Falls, New York in the early 40s. Betty helped to build the P-63 King Cobras, including this one, owned by the CAF Dixie Wing. The wing wanted to honor Betty and did so in a big way, naming that airplane Miss Betty. Betty worked hard to support the war effort here on the home front.
I worked second shift, which was good. And we'd catch a bus, because nobody had a car then. And then we'd get our schedule. And usually head to the tool crib. If we didn't own the tools, we'd go check out a tool crib. Okay. And just do whatever was there to do. And like I said, my job was shimming the struts so that the landing gear would be coordinated. And I also did the oxygen, brake fluid, stuff like that.
Betty was the only Rosie on a team of 21 men. She was the only one with small enough hands to shim those struts through a small hole in the wing. Congrats, Miss Betty. Thank you for your service and helping us have the world we do today. We are all thankful for you.
AOPA and 5 other aviation associations have filed a friend of the court brief to provide background to a federal judge. The judge is about to issue an opinion that could impact the future of flight training, especially as it pertains to training in warbirds and experimental aircraft. The case challenges a cease and desist order issued to Warbird Adventures and its owner. The FAA sent the demand. The agency alleges the company is operating a limited category aircraft for compensated flight training without a required exemption. However, depending on how the judge rules, the case could have a far-reaching impact on other types of training. It could also impact the ability for flight instructors to charge for instruction and for aircraft owners to easily access flight instruction in their own airplanes. The brief is designed to help the judge understand the broader issue of compensation for hire as it relates to flight training.
The comments are open and your voice needs to be heard. Pilots in Alaska are urged to speak up about a potential problem. The Missile Defense Agency of the Department of Defense has released its draft environmental impact statement for the long-range discrimination radar that's located on Clear Air Force Station. The agency is accepting public comments on the proposal until December 21st, and here's why it's a big deal. The current plan includes a proposed major expansion of restricted airspace. Now, that wasn't the bill of goods they originally sold. Back in 2016, the plan was to put a system in place without a bunch of operational restrictions. Now they want to add a restricted area. Well, so what? Well, it just happens to be in the area of Windy Pass, and that's a vital GA path between Fairbanks and Anchorage. Take a look at this map. You can see the tan tracks are north-south flight paths, and the green are northeast-southwest. That's a lot of airplane movement in a state where general aviation is absolutely vital. The red in the center, well, that's the existing restricted. Those massive black rings, that's the proposed restricted airspace. It would obviously gum up the area. Now here's how to take action. Go to our website and click on the Advocacy tab. You'll find a story page with links to an online form, a listed email address, and even an address to send a written letter. Please send a copy of your comments to us here at AOPA. And remember, it's your airspace. Speak up while you can.
That's right. Well, there's a new tool for you from AOPA. The new AOPA Weather, powered by SiriusXM Aviation, provides national and airport-specific data. It's all in a mobile-friendly format that makes it easy to check the weather on the go. You can even check it via the AOPA app. The upgrade is the latest in a series of flight planning tool improvements we've made in 2020 to serve you better. AOPA members can access the new mobile-friendly AOPA Weather and iFlight Planner for AOPA via the AOPA app, as long as you're connected to the web. Find out more on our website.
Well, this ain't your granddaddy's wrung out old Pawnee. Embraer and EDP are rolling out this concept, an electric crop duster. EDP is a Portuguese energy company that operates in Brazil. They've signed on to fund the battery tech for the airplane. The platform is based on the EMB 203 Ipanema and is expected to fly next year. And another cool concept, meet the Trifan 200. It's the vision of XTI aircraft and Vertigo Aero. It's powered by a diesel-electric hybrid powertrain. The mission is to serve as an unmanned vertical takeoff and landing cargo hauler. They plan for it to be able to haul 500 pounds up to 200 miles. And keeping with the theme of cool new stuff, but now putting a cool mill on the line, the Go Fly Prize was founded with the goal of fostering development of safe, quiet, and ultra-compact, near-VTOL personal flying devices capable of flying a single person 20 miles. Teams have been building and competing to win the cash. Back in February, the final fly-off was held in California, but the prize was not awarded. That cash, $1 million, is still on the line. Now, due to COVID, organizers are allowing teams to show off their work individually. Previously, they needed to gather for a large event. You can read more about it on our website.
67 volcanoes, dozens of microclimates, and more than 500,000 different animals and plant species. The small Central American country of Costa Rica is an amazing place. AOPA senior content producer Ian Twombly brings us a story about how a unique aircraft is playing an important role there.
In beautiful Costa Rica, father and son Frank and Nick Neerhoff operate a gyrocopter business in Aranjuez, near Costa Rica's Pacific coast.
We have a flight school, so we have our own training programs. We started 10 years ago, so we really started in the beginning of gyro flying.
Frank is a former airline pilot and moved from Germany to Costa Rica.
I came to Costa Rica to start a new life. And then friends of mine, which are building with the owners of our gyro factory, came over and told us this is the perfect plane for you. So they convinced me to try it out, and I was really, really impressed about the performance of the plane.
After starting tours and flight training, Frank found a new mission for the autogyro, surveying forest conditions to prevent wildfires. Fires are a major concern here.
We have everything you don't want if you're a forest firefighter. We have very strong winds, 30 knots plus in the dry season. We have 8 months without rain. It's a forest that has adapted to the dry climate that we have, but it means as well you have a lot of fuel on the ground, fallen dry leaves, dry wood and all that stuff. So it's really, really important to prevent fires.
The autogyro fulfills the mission like no other aircraft can. It can handle punishing turbulence and has a direct crosswind limit of 35 knots. It can also fly extremely slow.
So the gyrocopter is able to do this job, flying 500 feet with 30 knots of wind without risk.
Frank and Nick also use the gyrocopter for environmental protection. They help protect the wildlife here by searching for poachers and other threats. All of these missions give Nick an opportunity to learn about flying and the business from his dad.
My dad taught me, and that's why he knows I can do that stuff, and he gives me the responsibility, which is, I think, not normal being so young, right? I'm only 23 right now.
There aren't too many aircraft that can teach a new pilot in the morning and do a fire patrol in the afternoon. It's a unique mission that only the gyrocopter can fill in this beautiful place. Ian Twombly, AOPA Live.
You can read more about gyrocopters in Costa Rica in the December issue of AOPA Pilot Magazine. So Paul, I've been to Costa Rica. It is a beautiful country, I have to say. And I can't imagine seeing it from a gyrocopter. That's got to be spectacular.
Yeah, what a way to see it. I've never flown in a gyro, have you?
A little bit. It is, and it's an amazing seat to see the world, I got to tell you. It's pretty cool.
I bet. Somebody take me riding a gyro sometime.
Frank here and Frederick can help you out with that. When we come back, giving the gift of advanced ratings.
And hanging out way up north. AOPA Live this week continues.
I remember developing A20 and thinking, is this as good as it can be? Can I make it better? You can't have the mindset that it's impossible to make it better. If you're already at that mindset, you might as well go home.
Welcome back. The Sun and Fun Holiday Flying Festival and Car Show is almost here. It's December 4th and 5th on the Sun and Fun grounds in Lakeland, Florida. There's a lot to see at this scaled-back event, including several fighter demos. We told you a few weeks ago about the STOL competition that's taking place. AOPA President and CEO Mark Baker will be there for a general aviation town hall with Jack Pelton from EAA and Lights Leanouts from Sun and Fun. You can find out more on the Sun and Fun website. Also down there for the event will be AOPA's Florida You Can Fly Ambassador Jamie Beckett. You can chat him up about starting a flying club or anything else aviation related. But hey, you don't have to be there in person to tap into the expertise of the ambassadors. They're doing a series of interactive video chats called Ask the Ambassador. They happen every other Tuesday. Follow AOPA on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and you'll get an alert when they go live. You can ask just about anything, and one of the ambassadors will be able to help.
You know, the ambassadors are an interesting group of folks. There are three of us. Kay Sunderum in Southern California. She has a background as an aeronautical engineer, and she's a CFI. Pat Brown in Texas, also a CFI, former owner of a flight school. And Pat's a designated pilot examiner. And myself in Florida, I'm a CFI and an A&P, and as you know, I write about aviation. So we've got a real diverse general aviation talent pool here to talk to. So whatever questions you've got, whatever interests, or even if you just want to make a comment about what you see in your area, we're interested.
So see if you can stump them, okay? Next one, 7 p.m. Eastern on December 1st. You can see replays on the AOPA's social media channels.
It's Thanksgiving week, which of course means Black Friday and Cyber Monday are upon us, the commercial kickoff to the holiday shopping season that many either love or loathe. Either way, we have a socially distant way for you to do some shopping for the aviators in your life. The AOPA Pilot Gear store is offering some great deals this season. On Black Friday, you can get 40% off the entire store with the code Black Friday. That's all caps, all one word. Some exclusions do apply. And then for Cyber Monday, take 30% off the 39 line with the code Cyber Sale. Again, all caps, all one word. To get some of this sweet swag for yourself or others, head to our website and then click on the Pilot Gear store in the upper right corner. And if you're shopping for me, I wear a men's XL. An uncertain future for GippsAero, maker of the Airvan 8 and Airvan 10. The Australian company shut down and is for sale by owner Mahindra Aerospace. The shutdown was confirmed to AOPA by GippsAero CEO Keith Douglas. According to news reports, Mahindra Aerospace assured operators of Airvan aircraft now in service that it will continue supporting the fleet. The Airvan 8 is certified in 43 countries with 250 or so aircraft in service, 31 of them here on the U.S. registry, the Civil Air Patrol operating a number of them. Mahindra has owned a majority stake in the company for about a decade and has not realized the returns they had hoped. Several companies are reported to be interested in the brand.
AOPA Premier Partner Breitling has some new aviation celebrities supporting their iconic timepieces. Scott Kelly, an astronaut who spent a year aboard the International Space Station, Spanish fighter pilot Rocio Gonzalez Torres, and 20-year-old drone whiz kid Luke Bannister are the Breitling Aviation Pioneer Squad. Well, hey, as we all prepare to give thanks this week, don't forget to thank all of those who helped you in your aviation quest. Thank your mentors, your instructors, and remember that for some, finding those people is still harder than it should be.
My biggest challenge was trying to identify somebody to help teach me how to fly.
Captain Albert Glenn flew 44 years for FedEx, but getting into aviation, not so easy for him.
Being in the South was a little bit different. I don't think everybody could, my voice reflection on a phone sounded completely different than what they expected me to look. Right. And so a number of instructors that I reached on the phone, as soon as they saw me, they were too busy to teach. And I finally met a gentleman who actually was a professor at Embry-Riddle who ended up saying, hey, I taught everybody from all over the world in the Air Force. I don't have a problem. He tells the story better than I do about me starting. And he was able to teach me. And once again, I ended up meeting a number of individuals along the way who allowed me to be able to build flight time and to fly all kind of different airplanes and to get a chance to be prepared to go fly as a pilot at FedEx.
And when he retired, Captain Glenn wanted to give back to the community. He became the director of the Luke Weathers Jr. Flight Academy at Olive Branch Airport near Memphis. The organization of Black aerospace professionals started the nonprofit school to provide low-cost aviation training for kids in the Memphis area and to add more diversity to the future pilot pipeline.
One of the biggest challenges for first-generation pilots, which is a lot of Black pilots, a lot of minority pilots, is that they show up at colleges or aviation programs, and sometimes they're there with students that, you know, my dad was a pilot, my mom was a pilot, struggle for them because they might have never been in an airplane before in terms of, you know, saying, I want to do this. And so in developing the programs we have was to try to meet some of those needs, you know, get students in our solo flight academy, get them solo before they go off to college or to an aviation program.
And this is where instructors Andrew Holland and Stephanie Getz came into the picture.
My husband and I said we want to do something, even in a little way, to contribute to help support some of those in the underrepresented communities in aviation. And we said, why don't we give 3 multi-engine commercial flight scholarships financially to the Luke Weathers Flight School? And then my husband said, well, we're both MEIs. Why don't we do the flight training?
So they flew their Piper twin Comanche from Minneapolis down to Memphis for an accelerated multi-engine course for 2 students. A third student, Silver Ford, earned her rating a few weeks later.
I found out one day that I was selected, and which was a big shock for me because I was fine where I wasn't really expecting on getting another rating, just because I never saw myself flying multi-engine airplanes in my foreseeable future, just based on where I was and just the cost of training and all of that type of stuff.
But Stephanie and Andrew knew that a multi-engine rating is key to getting a professional pilot job, and the twin Comanche is an excellent taskmaster to prep a pilot for the heavier iron.
It was pretty intense because we were learning a whole new aircraft and, you know, learning the different speeds. And because basically we were trying to treat it as a Cessna 172 at first. And then we later find out we can't really do that. So things changed real quick. And from there, we just went on with the training. And then we heard that the check ride was the end of the week. So I was like, man, that's crazy because most of us, we haven't had a check ride like that fast and that quick. So we're like, man, we got to get ready. We're studying, we're pressuring ourselves and stuff. But thanks to Andre and Stephanie, they made it happen for us.
Both Zach and Jonathan plan to continue training to become multi-engine instructors and then on to the airlines.
That Andre and Stephanie taught me is that there's always a moment that you can pay things forward. So that's definitely within my plans. Any student that needs help, and that if I have the ability and the time to help them, then absolutely that's what I'm going to do. So that is definitely part of my future, part of my career now.
So what a great story, great way to use an airplane, and those young men, they are so grateful for what's been provided to them.
Oh, it's just heartwarming to hear that story. I'm sure they'll find a way to pay that forward in the future. What a great industry to be in, to bring people up and provide them opportunity.
Yeah, it's really, really wonderful. And we're thankful that you could spend part of your holiday with us Thank you for being a viewer and an AOPA member. We could not do the work we do without your support. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a note to the address on your screen.
We'll leave you this week with some beautiful video from Greg Anderson. He's sharing some great fall color as seen from his air cam way up in northern Wisconsin. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next Thursday.
There are many important things to consider before purchasing an aircraft. Let the experts at Aerospace Reports help guide you through the process. We combine expert knowledge with our long-standing commitment to personalized customer service to perfect your transaction. Learn more at aerospacereports.com.